Today's spooky spot, we're having a look at the McFarlane Toys Sleepy Hollow figures. We're looking today at the Headless Horseman. Technically, this is a throwback, as I've already done the review of the Headless Horseman a long time ago. But a little after that review, I noticed that there was an individual that was selling the set of Sleepy Hollow figures, and I ended up buying the complete set, thereby also buying another Headless Horseman. Technically, I already have that other Headless Horseman, so we'll be looking at that one. But just want to show you the packaging, including as well a very yellowed card. I don't know where this figure was being housed, but yes, the card has gone quite yellowed in the time that it's been displayed. Headless Horseman does come with a head or skull snap-on. You can swap either or on the head. And actually, there's variants to this figure, not by really variants figure-wise, but more package-wise, in the fact that depending on what figure you bought, how you bought them, you could either have them displayed with the Christopher Walken head or the skull head in the package. In this case, this figure comes with the skull head. I believe the initial package that I bought actually had Christopher Walken as the figure on the body of the Headless Horseman. Little 411 there. On the back of the package, other figures that you can get, part of this wave, we have the Ichabod Crane, the Crone, the Headless Horseman, and then the Headless Horseman box set that came with Horse and Tree. I won't be redoing this review because I think I just did it last year, so if you want to check that out, by all means check out that review. And then other figures down below, we've got Techno Spawn, we've got Movie Maniac Series 2, Austin Power Series 2, and the Beatles Yellow Submarine. For not only these figures, but also other figures, you can check out www.spawn.com and see the entire figure catalog of all the figures created and produced by McFarlane Toys. Having said that, I'm going to take a bit of a break. Technically, I'm not really going to, again, open this package because I already have the other Sleepy Hollow Headless Horseman figure out. But what we are going to do is when we come back, we're going to get another terrifying look at the Headless Horseman. Don't go anywhere. More terrifying review to come. Stay tuned. As with most other collectors, I think, who own this Headless Horseman figure, you're probably going to be having him displayed as you're seeing right now. Headless. That's the way it should be. Headless, without any head whatsoever. You can see some nice detail work on the stump where a head would have been. A nice blood there. You got a little bit of a bone there. Some really nice work done. For all things considered, an older figure that this is, it still holds up pretty good. I think the only aspects that need to be updated onto this figure is just additional articulation. So nice detail on the armor. Well, not so much armor, but the suit that he wears. Got some paint going on with the buckle. Nice side details on the gloves. And let's not, of course, forget the really exceptional cape on the Headless Horseman. This nice dark blood red. Kind of a dingy blood red. And then on the back, some tattered. You can see some tattered rips and damage, age, and stuff like that to the actual cape of the Headless Horseman. Down below, the rider's boots, some buckles on the sides. He's got some spurs going on there. And what I like about the spurs is that you can see the detail on the spurs themselves. I really like that. Some nice work. Nicer work if it focuses. Thank you. This one spur, unfortunately, is a little warped. Got a little bit warped. But still, pretty good figure. Of the accessories that come with the Headless Horseman, well, for starters, he comes with two heads. Neither of which I'm going to have displayed with him, but I like the fact that they come with the Horseman. For starters, he does come with a skull. They're not magnetized or anything like that. You kind of just sandwich the head on top, apply a little bit of pressure trying to get it pegged in there. There we go. It doesn't even really peg into place. It really is just, there's just a little bit of a space, just a little larger than the actual head. Once you find that sweet spot, you can kind of get the head on there. So there's the skull. Take that off. And it also does come with, don't worry, I'll avoid any Christopher Walken impressions in this review. He also does come with a Christopher Walken head. A bit of a spoiler, I'm sure, for anybody who's watched the movie. Well, not technically. We all know the Headless Horseman had a head at some point. The fact that he's portrayed by Christopher Walken, I don't think is any bit of a spoiler, because Christopher Walken isn't the character, he's just the head. I'll put that on there as well. Again, the heads really don't sit on there very well. They just kind of rest. Nice work, though, on the Walken head. But again, if you ask me, he's totally rocking it out without the head. It's not called Christopher Walken Horseman. It's Headless Horseman. The other accessories that the Headless Horseman come with, he does come with an axe. Now, if you had picked up the box set that came with the horse, obviously you would have also had a different horseman. He's a little bit different. He's got a little more articulation, but he also would have come with his sword. This singular horseman only comes with his axe, which sadly is not the easiest to get into his hand. You have to kind of really force it in there. But there you have the horseman with his axe. Another really cool accessory that he comes with is 2 severed heads. 2 severed heads sculpted together. Very grotesque. There's the undersides of their heads. But what I like is the fact that both heads have been sculpted together to form a little handle. You can take the handle, because you'll see that one hand is kind of angled down on the horseman. You can take that tuft of hair, a little bunching of hair, and have it being held by the horseman. How cool is that? The answer is very cool. Very cool indeed. That alone is a nice little display piece. These little extra heads are a nice addition, but if you ask me, not needed at all. This is where I'm going to have the horseman displayed. Maybe I'll even have like the axe or something raised up, who knows. But a very nice piece nonetheless. We'll take the head off, take the heads off, we'll take the axe off, just put those aside. In the way of the Headless Horseman's articulation, this is the only one part that kind of sucks about the figure. He only really has a swivel in the shoulder area, so the arms only go back and forth. He has a rotation in the upper bicep area, and he has a rotation in the glove. On this side, same idea, although, sorry, let Spot correct himself on that. He only has a swivel in the upper shoulder, a swivel in the glove. He doesn't have the other swivel in the bicep area. Why? I don't know. I don't know. He has a rotation in the waist, and then when it comes to the boots, he only swivels out on the boots. So you have to do some playing around. Also, too, one leg is straighter. This leg is straighter than this leg. This leg is bent. So he kind of leans to the one side, which, not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. You kind of have to play around with it to get the figure to stand just right. Once you do, it's not a bad looking figure, but long overdue, I think, for a re-release. Maybe if NECA was to re-release this figure with some additional articulation, that figure then would be awesome. As it stands, if this is the only Headless Horseman figure we're going to get from Sleepy Hollow, he is a good figure. He's worth picking up, but he does scream of needing a re-release. But as it stands, I'm going to give the Headless Horseman, let me get his heads back into his hand. Let's quickly get the axe back into his hand as well. Gingerly, maybe not the most ginger. There we go. That's a nice looking setup. I'm going to give the Headless Horseman a very terrifying 6.5. I can't really say too many bad things about the detail, but some of the lack of articulation kind of makes this figure suffer. Still, a really good figure, one that I really like to have on display. Today's spooky spot, we're having a look at the McFarlane Toys Sleepy Hollow figures, and today we're having a look at the Headless Horseman. Thanks for watching. See you next time.